Here are the reasons why I decided to buy CRO. Reason number one is because I believe that the Cronos Chain is absolutely spectacular. And when it comes to the Cronos Chain, it's an open source, EVM compatible, interoperable, scalable blockchain with over 1 million unique wallet addresses and over 68 million on-chain transactions. And also on top of that, on the Cronos Chain, there's currently over 400 dApps across NFTs, DeFi, and gaming. And there are many amazing projects on Cronos. For example, when it comes to DeFi, there are spectacular projects such as VVS Finance and Tectonic. You also take a look at, in terms of NFTs, there's Abyssus Bay, which is the first and largest NFT marketplace on Cronos. You also take a look at the Cronosverse, which I think has massive potential. The Cronos ecosystem is not short of amazing projects. There's many out there. In fact, the Cronos ecosystem is so impressive to the point that it actually is currently ranked number 9 in the world in terms of total TVL on DeFi. And some people may be wondering, oh, why is that impressive? The reason why that's spectacular is because if you take a look at it, right, the total TVL on Cronos as of right now is so high to the point that it actually beats out Cardano, Moonbeam, Solana, Near, Algorand, and even Bitcoin. I mean, just imagine that, right? In terms of total TVL on DeFi, I mean, Cronos is just fantastic. The Cronos Chain is spectacular in my opinion, but I actually think there's something else that makes it even more amazing than meets the eye. And that is the fact that the Cronos mainnet isn't even 2 years old. Just keep in mind, right, the Cronos mainnet launched back in November of 2021. So the Cronos ecosystem is actually still very young. And despite that, it was still able to achieve all of the amazing things like I mentioned before. I mean, it's crazy to even think about as to how much Cronos has grown at such a relatively short amount of time. You know, the Cronos Chain, it's been doing a lot of growing, much like these made in China biceps. You know, they've also been doing a lot of growing, much like the Cronos Chain. Cronos is already massive right now, despite the mainnet not even being 2 years old. But I think it can even be bigger in the future. I mean, just imagine if it's this big already, just imagine how big it will be multiple years down the line. And also something else that I find very remarkable about Cronos is the fact that it's extremely reliable. And what do I mean by this? The Cronos Chain was able to process over 65 million transactions for over 1 million users without any downtime whatsoever. And some people may be thinking like, oh yeah, you know, aren't all blockchains supposed to be that reliable? But in actuality, not many blockchains out there are that reliable. For example, if we take a look at Solana, Solana has a lot of network outage problems. For example, at one point, Solana had 8 different network outages in just 1 year. And that's completely unacceptable. A layer 1 blockchain like Solana should not be that unreliable. That is not acceptable in my opinion. So when you truly think about it, the Cronos Chain is extremely reliable. It doesn't have any issues. And the second reason why I decided to buy CRO is because I believe CRO has a lot of room to grow. Currently, the price of CRO is sitting at around 7.5 cents, which means that it's actually down over 90% from its all-time high price. I mean, just imagine that, right? CRO as of right now is extremely oversold. And the way I view these low prices is that it is a major buying opportunity for me. Some people, when they take a look at low prices, they don't like it. They're like, oh man, the prices are low. But the way I view it is that the lower the price, the better the buying opportunity for me. So when I see CRO this low in price, I actually love it. Some people, they love their Xbox. Some other people, they love their girlfriend who may or may not be loyal. Some people love that, but I love it when the prices of CRO are low. I almost can't believe the price of CRO is this low. I think it's so crazy. And now, this is not an invitation to buy, sell, or trade CRO, but that's just the way I view it. Hypothetically speaking, if let's say I were to invest $1,000 into CRO right here, right now, and CRO were to return back to its all-time high price of 97 cents, I would have managed to turn my $1,000 into $12,000. And that's really crazy right there. All CRO has to do is go back to its all-time high price, and that's a 12x. I mean, that's very mind-blowing in my opinion. And even though CRO going back to its all-time high price is good, you know, I don't think that that's actually CRO's true potential, because when I think about it, when CRO reached its all-time high price in November of 2021, there was only around 80,000 unique wallet addresses on the Cronos Chain. And also on top of that, the Cronos mainnet at that time was only around 2 weeks old. But when you fast forward to today, the Cronos Chain has over 1 million unique wallet addresses, it has over 400 dApps, and it also has over 65 million on-chain transactions. So anyway I take a look at it, the Cronos Chain right here, right now has improved by a lot, and I think it's way better than what it was 2 years ago. So if CRO could reach 97 cents with the Cronos Chain only having around 80,000 wallet addresses, Just imagine what it can reach in the future, especially now that there is over 1 million wallet addresses on Cronos. I mean, I really do think that the sky's the limit for Cronos, and I think that it will easily smash through its all-time high price during the next bull run. Not financial advice, of course, but that is why I keep buying more and more CRO. I believe it has insane potential. And reason number 3, I believe that the crypto space overall will recover again. You know, historically speaking, bear markets are very normal. In fact, if you take a look at this chart, you'll see that after each bear market, the crypto space overall tends to fire back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. And after each bear market, the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting higher as well. A lot of people like to think that bear markets last forever, but I don't think that's true. You know, all these people have to do is just take a look at the historical data for cryptos, and they'll know that the crypto space overall always recovers again. And if you think about it, back in 2021, when the markets were euphoric, when everyone was so excited about cryptos, when Bitcoin reached the price of $68,000, at that point, there was only around 300 million crypto owners globally. However, you fast forward to right now, there's over 420 million crypto owners globally, which means that as of right now, there's more people than ever before owning cryptos in the world. If with around 300 million crypto owners, Bitcoin was able to reach $68,000 and altcoins was still able to have that massive run, just imagine during the next bull run, especially when you consider how there's over 420 million crypto owners. Because just imagine during the next bull run, there's going to be more buying volume, there's going to be more buying pressure, and just overall, there's going to be more people just buying cryptos. That's going to create a lot more FOMO, and naturally, the prices are just going to be crazy. I think CRO during the next bull run, along with a lot of other altcoins, are just really going to just blast through their previous all-time highs. I truly do believe that. And that is why I keep buying more and more CRO despite these low prices. I believe that the crypto space overall will recover again. And the fourth reason as to why I decided to buy CRO is because of Crypto.com, the exchange. And I think Crypto.com just as a business is just out of this world. I think it's fantastic. Crypto.com currently has over 80 million users. And also on top of that, in the past 2 years alone, they have generated over $2 billion in revenue. In 2021, Crypto.com had over $1 billion in revenue. And also last year, they also had over $1 billion in revenue. So when you think about it, Crypto.com just as a business is doing absolutely amazing. And also on top of that, I believe that Crypto.com is just such an amazing exchange. You know, when I take a look at Crypto.com, I think it is a lot simpler. I think it's a lot more intuitive. And I think it is just overall easier to use than many other crypto exchanges out there. For example, if you take a look at Binance, everyone is always raving about Binance. They're saying, oh, it's the biggest exchange. Everyone keeps saying, you know, it's so massive. But in reality, when I take a look at Binance just as an exchange, I think that the user interface, I think it's too overly complicated, and I think it doesn't have to be that way. You know, I think Binance's user interface is really its biggest weakness. And one of the main reasons why I don't even want to use Binance at all is because I just don't like the user interface. I just think it is too all over the place. Unlike Crypto.com, the user interface, it's simple, it's intuitive, and it's easy to use. And also on top of that, Crypto.com has the highest number of licenses and registrations in tier 1 jurisdictions. For example, you take a look at the CFTC in the US, you take a look at the EMI license in Brazil and in Europe. You also take a look at how Crypto.com is registered in Canada, South Korea, the UK, Australia, Singapore, and much more. And also Crypto.com was one of the first crypto companies ever in the world to be ever granted a ISO certification. And that right there is not easy to get. And the fact that Crypto.com has that, I think is a true testament as to how well their business is run. And also the cherry on top for me when it comes to Crypto.com is the fact that Crypto.com has fantastic and spectacular advertising. You take a look at Crypto.com Arena, you take a look at the UFC partnership, you take a look at their partnership with Aston Martin in Formula One, and even their partnership with Paris Saint-Germain, and much more. When it comes to advertising, Crypto.com is just on a whole different dimension. You know, no other crypto exchange, in my opinion, is as good as Crypto.com when it comes to their advertising. I think Crypto.com is special, I think it's one of a kind, and I think it is so extraordinary. And that right there are the reasons why I decided to buy CRO. I think CRO is fundamentally amazing, and I think it has such massive potential. And if you want to check out a very interesting CRO video, make sure to go ahead and click this video right here. It's wonderful, and I think you all would really love it, so go ahead and check it out.